Yeah, just dealing with insurance for a moment here.
Well, do you ever type up reminders to yourself on your calendar and you kind of, at the time you do it, you abbreviate, and then when it pops up, you're like, I don't know what this is?
If I type it, I can read it and it's fine. If I've written it on a Post-it note, no fucking clue.
Well,
it is hilarious. I mean, I look and go, one, I have my mother's DNA, and her writing is completely illegible. But these are notes that I'm only going to write for myself. I would never give this note to anybody else. Now, folks out there might disagree with that because they have had to ask me a few times what I've written. But for the most part, this is just scribbles to myself, and I'll go, no clue. No idea what that third thing is.
That's hilarious. That is, but my problem is I abbreviate because at the time I'm usually in a hurry. Then I can't remember what I was trying to remember. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like putting something in a safe spot, and you'll never find it again. Ever. Ever.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's just I don't think that's going to happen at Fantasy Gifts because we put out a lot of merchandise, but it's it's right there on a hook on a wall, nothing hidden. So we're going to find it.
Yes,
although we've been getting so much new stuff in that the clerks are like, what the hell is this again? Because it is abbreviated on the inventory.
Yep.
I mean, how many different ways can you say purple rabbit dildo? Rabbit vibrator. I mean, there's so many of them.
Good point. There's more on that coming up here in just a minute. I just want to open up with this because I'm so baffled by this.
Okay.
You get the concept of escaping from prison, right, or jail, right?
Yeah, they made a lot of good movies about that.
Yeah. And
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. And, people generally leave the jail because, they would like to be free from jail, right?
Yeah.
4 guys in Beaumont, Texas, they didn't escape to run away. They escaped to go on a booze run.
So they went back.
Yes.
And then the booze was located. This does not make the security system there look very good, does it?
Well, it's a federal correctional complex, which makes me think country club prison.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it probably, it doesn't,
But
not a lot of folks with rifles.
But the problem is, actually, this jail that they were in, the Jefferson County place, has a low, medium, and high security. They were from the low security, but they kept getting a report, so they set up a surveillance, and they're like, "Yep, there it is." I mean, they were going out on booze runs, but they were going back. I don't know. Should you get in as much trouble for that if you came back?
I was thinking that might be where it's going. If you actually go back, they just really wanted a beer.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah. Cell phones, cigarettes.
Although, honestly, if you want that stuff, you should do something where you get like house arrest and then people can bring you things. One of the reasons about, being in prison is, because you are in fact deprived of the things that make life enjoyable.
There's that.
But really, honestly, the fact that they went back, let's say that they were going to get like 10 extra years or something, maybe like 9 extra years. They went back.
Oh, I think it's worth more than that. I would say that the fact that they went back
multiple times, right? This is more than once.
Yeah.
See, that's the part that I also
now they're running a business. But let's say it was just one thing, then I would try to go lower than that.
Oh, that's just me.
All right. So this next story is gonna probably freak a lot of people out. There's a guy named Dr. Bryce Cleary, and he went to medical school at Oregon Health and Science University 30 years ago, and he decided to help people who are having fertility issues. He became a sperm donor, but he had conditions, okay? It was including that no more than 5 children be produced with his sperm. The mothers had to not live in the Pacific Northwest, and then he wanted anonymity. Now, though... he's 53. He found out he has fathered 17 kids, most of whom were local. He found this out when 2 daughters tracked him down via Ancestry.com.
Oh, so folks, when he did this stuff years ago, they didn't have these DNA tests. So now any shot of anonymity it's gone.
Yeah, it is. It's gone. And he said, without the promises, I would never have participated. And he sat next to one of his donor-conceived daughters, and he talked about the $5.25 million complaint that he's filed against the medical school or the university.
I mean, put it this way. There's nothing he knew about being found. The fact that there were 12 more kids in the area, yes. The fact that anonymity, he's not going to have a shot. I mean, there were just things that happened that no one knew was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to have to sue Ancestry.com for that shit.
Well, I don't know, because, I do believe that OHSU has some liability here, but check this out. They found that he and many of his offspring have probably unknowingly interacted. At least 2 of his offspring have been at the same church, schools, or social events as his own kids. The 25-year-old daughter that he met for the first time said she's been in touch with 6 of her half-siblings. And, there's just dozens. They could have dozens and dozens of cousins. And for other reasons, and I live in a small town here in Minnesota where kids that my nephews went to high school with had to ask if they were related before they could date. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm saying, but I don't know. I mean, okay. I know he has a case for more than 5 kids. I know he has a case for not being in the area. But when he did this stuff 25 years ago, there wasn't 23andMe and Ancestry.com and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So there's no way that the company that promised him anonymity has control over these other companies.
Yeah. Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, okay, gotcha.
But so what I'm wondering is that does that person... I mean, does a person who requested anonymity 40 years ago with anything need to tell these other companies, how do they opt out?
I don't know, because
it's really, I don't honestly don't think it's possible. I'm just saying, but that promise of anonymity was probably something that could be given 25 plus years ago, but not now.
Well, and had it not been for the breach of anonymity, he wouldn't have found out about the other violations. From the article, and we'll post it on the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page, Colleen. From the article, I don't know if he's even suing about the anonymity part.
Okay,
it's the rest of it that he's incensed about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's too many kids in one area.
Yeah.
And that's what folks are finding out. I mean, a story I saw the other day where 2 sisters ended up living next to each other. They were searching around, and this was, an adoption that was young and this and that, and same father, different mothers, all this sort of stuff. And I'm just like, you just sort of do need to know, especially in this day and age, when there is such thing as sperm donors and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I looked into Frozen Daddy, but none of it was particularly I don't think there was a name on it, but there was a picture and all sorts of other stuff in areas. So it certainly would have been easy in this day and age to track down someone.
Yeah. Well, I was more than slightly shocked when a very good friend of mine told me a couple months ago that a friend of hers who's like, I guess there's this whole ancestry is like a hobby for some people.
Oh yeah, they just really get into it.
And long story short, my friend is adopted and was adopted in 1966 when everything was
it was still hush hush,
cloak and dagger.
I mean, there were people that lied that the children didn't even tell their children they were adopted.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, just which is mind boggling to me. I mean, yes, I grew up at a different time, but I still don't understand that concept.
I think it's weird. But that said, she found her birth mother. Her friend found her birth mother. And the first thing out of my mouth was, did you want her to? And she's like, well, I had said that I was open to it or whatever. And we found a picture of her birth mother at age 18, and we put it next to a picture of her. I mean, oh my God. It's yeah. Anyway, so she sent this letter to her, and I read it, and it was awesome. And she basically said, look, I know this was a long time ago, and if you do
the world is different.
If you do not want contact with me, that's fine. I will never bother you again. But she said, so I will leave you with this one thing that I want to say, and that's thank you. I've had a great life, whatever, and stuff. And she has not heard. And this was quite a while. So this particular woman may not,
Yeah. Just her family may not know, or she might not, Yeah.
Well, there is one slip up. there's an aunt that she did reach out to as well. And she responded immediately. And she's like, yep, we didn't know. And the aunt said, I'm not going to say anything. But she goes, whether or not your mom gets back to you, I would like a relationship with you.
I don't know how you keep... I mean, obviously, it's I mean, that's the whole thing about different... I mean, just the relationships and things and hiding things. I mean, it's practically an entire advice industry, system of letters. But, I mean, how is she going to keep that from her sister?
It's not her sister. It's her...
Well, you said an aunt or something, so isn't he?
It would be my friend's great aunt.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
but even so, I mean, that's a lot of folks that you're keeping a secret from over there that you want to have a relationship with your, grandniece.
Yeah.
I know I've never quite understood why it goes like, it goes, mother, grandmother, great grandmother, but somehow it goes like aunt, great aunt. There should be grand aunt in there somewhere. I've never understood
funny.
that. It
That's
just
hilarious.
messes with my head.
No, I never thought about that either. That is a good,
but
very
I've
good
never
point.
heard anyone called a grand aunt.
But again, I mean, I kind of feel like the birth mother's privacy is violated here because if she didn't ever want her family to know, now they know. And I don't think my friend did anything wrong.
No.
But it's like, shit, Yeah,
I mean, the thing is that if anyone expects the world, and I mean, think about just when we talk about sex, I mean, we're coming up to the 40th year of Fantasy Gifts. Some things are very, very different. I mean, customers come in, they ask questions. There's a lot more knowledge. People are going through there. All this sort of stuff. But some things are the same. I can still, not get leases where I want them. But I never, if they honestly really expected things to not, I just don't think secrets should ever be really expected to be secret. You can try. But I just don't know in this day and age with DNA test and the internet and the way that people move around that you can really hide. I mean, I think it would take massive resources to hide or not be seen. I mean, and for anyone to give anyone crap for a decision that they made 60 years ago when life was different. To not take all that into consideration. Yeah. But
I just hope that this doesn't stop people from putting kids up for adoption, who would have had the baby. You know what I mean? That worries me just a little.
It's not good because people make the decision. If you're going to choose to allow another family to create a family through adoption, because you choose that. You place. I mean, giving up just sounds so crude, but you're making a decision about your child's in its best interest,
right?
And that's not going to change. It's going through there because even if someone made the decision under duress, to some extent, it's still in that child's best interest because obviously their life was not going to be conducive to being a good parent. At least they feel, he's going through there. I mean, when you're talking about the children that were stolen in orphanages and stuff in the 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, stuff like that. I mean, they didn't want to do it, for a lot of them. Some of them did. But I don't put I never blame the parents. There's a lot of people that were pressuring them. They deserve a lot of shame. Stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
people will do what they need to do.
I just don't know if it should be the part of this whole DNA testing should allow you to be able to just look into other people's lives like that.
Well, there's almost no closed adoptions nowadays anyway. They're almost always open adoptions with some sort of contact and stuff like that because they're realizing it's impossible in this century to keep that secret.
For sure. This happened in California. Hello. A California man broke into a home wearing nothing but women's underwear. And they did catch him wearing nothing but a bra and panties. The homeowner told investigators he called out to the man before having an exterior door open and slam closed. And he saw the man run out of his open garage wearing the underwear. And he said it was just terrifying. And he called 911, and the 911 person was cracking up, trying not to laugh because he was okay. But he said he's ordered a security system with a camera, and he plans to adopt a dog.
Okay. Personally, someone breaking into your house wearing inappropriate clothing is less frightening to me than someone breaking into the house, like, wearing all black and a vest with lots of pockets so you can put shit in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just don't see, there's obviously a degree of, I don't want an intent or effort into the breaking in. Even if the guy was running away in like appropriate, more stereotypic, gendered male, like tidy whities, that would still be, that would be laugh worthy too, versus bra and panties. Someone running away wearing all black or camo or, something like that where you're thinking, what are they hiding there? I mean, you can see,
No weapon.
No weapon. Mm-mm.
But in custody. So, but you know what? Having your house broken into.
Oh, it's just so. It happened once when we were really, really young. I don't remember it too much. I obviously didn't. I forgot it until it was brought up a while back, and I said, "Oh, yeah, I guess that did happen." So obviously, it had no particularly lasting, effect on me. But it's just, and now if I have a store broken into, I'm just pissed. Because it usually involves, they never get anything because I've got security systems and cameras, but they'll break something, and it just costs me thousands of fucking dollars.
Yeah,
middle of the night board ups and shit like that. Like,
is assholes. Do you have insurance for that?
Oh, you don't claim that shit because then you'll get dropped.
Really?
I mean, honestly, insurance for retail or business is only for major catastrophes. You can't. You claim. I got dropped by one company just because someone decided they didn't like the dildos. You know what I mean? So it's a pain in the ass.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really frustrating.
Do you get to write off the damages as a loss?
I have no idea. I mean, I keep everything.
Okay.
An accountant gets it. I have no idea. But
hey.
But it's just so annoying. I'm going to be very thrilled when I get all my new security systems and I'm about halfway done.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of being violated, this is actually real. Mm-hmm. We have some friends. And the fact that they're lesbians just really is not relevant, I don't think, to the story. But maybe it is. You tell me what you think. They're really, really good friends of ours. And they told my husband, they're like, hey, when is Kelly going to be here? Because we have something important we want to talk to you about. And that's kind of a ominous, and my husband, didn't press and said, okay. So we went to dinner with these two, and they proceeded to tell us that a couple that live next door to them, and they are people that we know and have socialized with as well. These guys have hung out for years, like 20 years, and holidays, vacations, all kinds of stuff, had keys to their house to, in case anything went wrong, and vice versa. They came home from a trip to the Boundary Waters, and on their security tape, the husband of the neighbor came into their house, went into their bedroom, rifled their porn, took a porn DVD, went home. He did bring it back. But he was in their bedroom. And their bedroom, by the way, their house is a really super cool house, is up on a lot. I mean, it's not right there by the door.
In other words, he figured they had porn, probably knew it, and was really curious. And this way, you don't have to put it on a credit card or have it found.
Okay.
But put it this way, he probably could have just asked.
Well, he could have. Number one. But number two, okay, let me just tell you, you can get most of that shit for free on the internet.
Yep.
Without a credit card. A lot of it.
Yeah, I have a streaming device if you actually want to pay for a whole movie. You can find it on our website.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. And, and the credit card stuff, a lot of places, it doesn't show up as...
No, they've got different names and stuff.
So let's talk about feeling violated. They were like, we want you to know what happened because we don't know if he has keys to your house. But, you know, if he does and all this kind of stuff. And my husband and I can't even tell you.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I have a few folks that have keys to my house and I have cameras.
Yeah.
But I you know, and I can, you know, have an alarm system. I know when people are going in and out. So I've never seen that. But I think it would be really weird if if someone, you know, and I have people that take care of my cats when I go to town. So there are people in and out. But, you know, if I saw, like, I don't know, multiple, you know, it's something that I not specifically asked for. Yeah, that'd be weird, even if you know the person.
Well, and guess what? This guy has for years been one of those, well, kind of the type that they accused Joe Biden of being, kind of a inappropriate hugger, kisser, on you kind of guy. And so they're like, we're not going to speak to them anymore ever again. And I'm like, well, how are they going to like stay in the neighborhood? Because everybody knows them. And
finally someone taking a stand. Yeah, there's been a few. That's one of the things over the past. You just said there's been a lot of crap the past few years, but I think what's been really nice is that folks have finally are sometimes taking a stand. I'm done being nice about this. I'm done. If someone grabs you, you know, instead of just ignoring it, you just, you know, you say out loud, stop that. You know, put the onus back on the other person.
Right.
You know, I am no longer going to be embarrassed because somebody else did something stupid.
Right.
Even though it was directed at me.
Yeah.
You know, taking, you know, just dropping centuries of shame.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change fast, but it is nice to see that folks are, you know, like, nope, we're done. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, one of them made the comment. She's like, again, lesbian porn is just as plentiful as any other kind of porn. And so, you know, but one of them really took it a lot harder than the other. But I mean, I don't want people rifling, you know, through my house. And, you know, I don't think that's a lot to ask, Colleen.
No.
You know, I really think
nice,
that's okay.
you know, because we talk a lot about do whatever you want in your house, don't bring up, but don't invade my space.
And don't touch shit in my bedroom.
It's been really weird because I've got security and I've got cameras and all that. And, you know, with the kid being sort of an empty nester, there's there's noises in the house that I'm just like, the cats are knocking over shit. It's you know, I think I'm a little more paranoid because I know there's not another person downstairs.
Yeah.
Yet I'm hearing noises that sound like there's another person downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, and I go down and I found out the cats knocked over the cookies and ate one. But it was in the middle. I got the shingle shot the other day. Oh, by the way, get your shingle shot. You don't want to, it's really, the second shot, you feel a little shitty for 36 to 48 hours, but I'd rather do that than feel shitty for months with shingles. But so I celebrated because by buying myself a little tin of those little Danish cookies. You know, get shot, get cookies. I think that works out really well.
Yeah.
Damn cat knocks this thing over, makes this, I'm like, what the fuck is going down downstairs? It's very loud. I'm like, and then I go downstairs and there's a cat sitting on the front rug having a cookie.
Cat just wanted a cookie.
Cat wanted a cookie.
Why can't a cat have a cookie?
Yeah. But I did. I'm like, oh, damn it. And then I'm like, okay, get up, put on some pajamas. Because if I'm not going to confront someone nude, there's a lot of stories. I'm not going to have Minnesota woman confronts, you know, robber while nude. It's not going to happen.
It won't be you?
No, it will not be me.
Okay.
But
but wait a minute. You nude or them nude?
Well, see, I don't sleep in anything. I can't stand pajamas.
So if there's somebody that you're just going to lock yourself in the bedroom?
Well, yeah, I mean, I could just put something on real quick. I mean, I'm very good. I have a kid. So, you know, I'm really good at putting on pajamas in a nano freaking second.
Really?
Mm-hmm, yeah. So, which is the other. So I'm not confronting, you know.
Okay.
Oh, good. I'll have to call this person back. My phone's ringing. My clothes washer stopped working because I've just enough shit that's breaking in my world right now that I need my washer to stop spinning and draining.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that. Can I just say that I picked this next story because, you know, it gives me hope that maybe someday as a society we'll lighten up. But a city in Missouri is trying to tackle the people not picking up after their dogs in parks problem with some humor.
I mean, that's honestly a reason. I mean, I love dogs, but I don't have time for them, and I don't want to pick up the shit.
Yeah.
So there's a reason I don't have a dog.
For sure. You're very nice to Fred the studio dog. But they've got these little flags that they're putting down. And they've got funny sayings. Let me read you a couple. Is this your turd? Because that's absurd. That's one. Drop in trash, not in the grass. This is a nudge to pick up the fudge. And they're saying it's costing the public resources $7,500 in a year to pick up dog poop. And my hope is that if they can be humorous about poop, maybe at some point they'll get a lightened up about some of the other things that are, indecent or taboo or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people liked, what was it, a couple weeks ago? There was the folks in their 60s, 70s, and 80s that were having public sex in the park.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think they should be having public sex in the park because,
it's public.
Because, you have the consent for the other people that don't maybe not want to watch you have sex.
Right.
But it should just be the move along,
That's definitely for
or
sure.
stuff like, it's just very, very strange.
Has restructured herself, and you're happy.
There's no doggy today, so the whole sofa is mine.
God, that picture of
him.
him.
Oh yeah, and I exhausted with a whole bunch of shit going on. So laying down here is like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, you look very comfy.
I need a pillow and a banky. I do have one, but it's all the way over there.
Oh, God. Well, so this is kind of funny. A town called Bridgewater found this made its way to Facebook. An entire sort of array of sex toys was left right outside of a bank. So
not Portland? Keep Portland weird?
No.
We haven't heard anything about like those dildos that were like flung over the wires. That was like 2 years ago now.
I know.
It's like, are they still there? People have more dildos? Are they just, naturally, if they were tied together with like shoestrings, are they naturally rotted? Because I would assume weight and weather would eventually, things would fall.
Yes.
But it was just dildos outside a bank. Or sex toys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And here's kind of funny.
Okay.
This makes me laugh at how this was written. Here's the quote. There were up to 10 vibrators discovered in the find, along with some rather large rabbits that were not of the furry variety. Whoever wrote this doesn't realize that a rabbit is a
vibrator. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Yes. You got to get this shit right.
You got to realize, there's a difference between a dildo and a vibrator.
Yeah.
Generally, dildo, not vibrating. Just so folks know, yes. Mm-hmm.
And from a nearby park, a gentleman named Glenn was very terrified when he threw a stick and his English Bull Terrier came back with an 8.5-inch pink dong.
Well, see, if it's 8.5-inch pink, it could see Pipe Dream has a pink jelly dong. Doc Johnson makes a pink softy vibe. I'm not sure if they still make it. I'd have to look it up. It was made out of an older material, so it probably doesn't exist anymore. Yep. But I used to be going through there. But I mean, honestly, some of the most interesting colors right now for vibrators and dildos is still always purple, but sort of a turquoise or a mint green. Mm-hmm. Very, very, very popular colors right now.
Oh, really?
So possibly, if they were getting rid of the pink one, someone decided that they had they needed to upgrade to more modern colors because pink has been around for a very, very long time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you that it is kind of hilarious? 22-year-old Bella Thorne, who was a former Disney actress, just picked up the Vision Award for her directorial work on the porn movie called Her and Him at the Pornhub Awards.
Oh, cool.
And she said it was an amazingly fun environment. She loved it.
Oh, yeah. One of these days, Dan Savage runs a film festival.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, for sexually themed films and all that sort of stuff. And people, it's all, amateur submissions and stuff like that. But with what people can do with just like an iPhone nowadays, I'm sure some of these pictures are just amazing. And it's going to be like real, not that folks in movies aren't real, but it's going to be slightly less staged. I think some of it, like they have different. God, what is it? I saw something recently. He was asking for for it's like that time of year again. I haven't looked at his. I'll have to look at his site again. Savage Love. He usually talks about it, Dan Savage, but I really one of these days want to get to one of those showings. I think it would be hilarious.
I do too,
because I'm curious whether or not they use like any toys. Because I've poked around different sites and I see really rudimentary bondage, and then or generally like a magic wand or that sort of vibrator, but I don't really see a lot of toys in videos, or when they say them, they just use it for a little bit, then they're just right into the sex.
Yep.
But I'm like, I sell a lot of toys, so I know
people use them.
But people are using them. They're just maybe just too much, extra work. They just, in a film or something like that. I don't know. I
Unclear.
have to ask. Unclear. Yeah.
Unclear. One of the things that has always bugged me, and this was in, I would see this all the time in California, abandoned commercial sites that look blighted. And California, the coasts are a lot more sensitive to the recessions than the middle of the country. And you would go through these waves of it. And it was just always super depressive. Well, the thing that I'm really super excited to hear is that in Britain, a restaurant chain that is no longer, Little Chef Restaurants, they are out on highways, okay, in remote towns. And many of them have been taken over by an adult chain called Pulse and Cocktails. So these are deserted roadside cafes. Perfect, which you said on your recent trip.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, a lot of times an old gas station or a truck stop would just be at the wrong stop for modern cars or this or that. And that's where I saw. And also that's, of course, rezoning is, because people still think weird shit about, buying a vibrator. So, yeah, still a fair amount of highway places to buy your sex toys.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd just rather go to the suburbs, go to Fantasy Gifts or fantasygifts.com. But, that's just me. I'm a little biased that way.
Yeah. Yeah. They have 7 of the roadside superstores all across the country. And one of the corporate people said, people objected in the early days because they didn't understand what they were trying to do. She said, we're not next to schools. They're remote and they look great from the outside. And so she's like, it's very, these out country side shops are more popular than their city center shops.
Speaking of Great Britain and restaurants, Chick-fil-A attempted to open there, and they only lasted a few months before they were shut down because they are so incredibly anti-gay. That the publicity they got, just nobody went. Chick-fil-A lasted just a few. I mean, it's such a short amount of time.
Really?
And they shut down. Yep. Wow. Great Britain told Chick-fil-A to fuck off.
Okay. Super. The only thing that is a little bit amusing about this story is that they get a fair share of people that need directions, which I think is funny.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad that people are at least asking.
Well, yeah. It's got to be women.
Yeah.
So Love Honey has their Merry Sexmas calendar out, and this is the thing that's got a different game and a toy every year, and they release it, and it's kind of cool. It's got about $300 worth of goodies in it for $130. So you're supposed to enjoy the season even more.
Yeah, I have tried. I've completely given up. Now I'm pretty sure that Fantasy Gifts in New Jersey, folks there are much happier with pre-made baskets. They put together some stuff and have stuff, but folks in Minnesota want exactly what they want.
Yeah.
I attempted many, many times to put together baskets, and they're like, well, I like this, but can I have a strawberry lube instead of a cherry? I mean, it was impossible. And I'm fine. So I do not bother. We people will put together gift sets, companies and stuff like that. And they just sit there. People want exactly, if it's off just a little bit, nope, I'm not going to buy that. So the idea of like a pre-made basket of goodies. I mean, I'll put together baskets and stuff for charities and auctions and giveaways and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But to have pre-made stuff in the store, nope. Minnesotans want exactly what they want. And there is no way in hell. Even the guys racing in a nanosecond before they have to have a Valentine's gift will not buy pre-made stuff put together. Yep. So I don't even bother. Yep. That is one thing I have learned. And like I said, next year, 2020 is going to be 40 years, and I've been doing this for 30 years now.
Yeah. Nope. Yep. This is just terrifying. You know how we're hearing a lot of settlements for baby powder linked to cancer in women that used it as a. Oh,
I missed that.
Oh,
you know?
Oh my God!
Did you talk about that?
They've been paying billions in damages for cancer linked to baby powder. Oh. And
I never liked the smell of it, and because I have an insane nose, so I never used it. So maybe that's why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So in another lawsuit, they're facing 13,000 people are suing over the drug Risperdal, and one guy just got an enormous $8 billion award because he claims
with a B.
Because,
that's going to get overturned in seconds.
Well, he claims the drug made him grow breasts. This kid what's
the medication?
Risperdal. It's an antipsychotic, but he took it when he was 9 to 14 for to treat autism, actually. And yeah.
I wonder if that was yet another drug that was never really tested on kids. And then it was used off-label, because there are some rules that say that if it's safe to use on A, B, and C, you don't have to test it for D or something like that. There's a whole stuff like that.
Yep. $8 billion.
I mean, okay, that's a lot of money. I mean, I understand the point of that, but honestly, they're never going to be able to pay it. It's not really going to dissuade anything because they can't do it. It needs to be a reasonable. I mean, like 110 million. More than it is going through there. And honestly, if it's just breast, there's plastic surgery to take care of that. It isn't like the women who took the drugs and then they ended up having children without arms and legs. I mean, there's
right.
The proportions there, the proportional response there seems.
Even if they were really big breasts.
Yeah, even if they were. I'm saying not.
I'm being a smartass, but yeah.
That does not seem proportional. It doesn't seem to help the cause for having safer medications.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. My take on this story, I'm just going to tell you before I tell you what the story is. This is something that sounded great on paper, but I'm not sure that the actual manifestation is awesome. Okay. Tell me what you think. Have you heard of Ms. Monopoly? The new Monopoly game? Hasbro has come out with a new version of Monopoly with a twist. Girls and women get an edge. Yeah. So female players start out with $1,900 from the bank, while male players only get $1,500.
Oh, well, this is to make the point about gender earning inequality.
Yep.
How would you like it if it was this way? We reverse it, because it's actually the other way in real life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and women get more money when they pass go and all of this kind of stuff. And Hasbro's saying it's a way that families can talk about what's happening, an easy way to explain to their kids, boys or girls, what has maybe happened to them over the years, what they've experienced. But some people are not thrilled with this. There's some tweets criticizing this, and from women saying, so now Ms. Monopoly is teaching girls that they need help. And another one said they can't be as good as men unless they have help. Really, Hasbro?
I don't think they're getting the point of that. I mean, according to, I believe it's Melinda Gates, at the rate we're going in this country, it's going to take 208 years for there to be gender economic equality in the United States right now.
Okay.
Right now, from this day. 208 years. Mm-hmm. And I think the point here is just, this is just, so that people think about it. And if you don't get that, then maybe you need to take a look in the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess what? Let's see. 3 horrible diseases, gonorrhea, syphilis, and chlamydia, are on the rise.
Yep.
$2.4 million infections diagnosed and reported of those 3 diseases last year.
Yeah, folks are not using condoms.
Yep.
And it's just because it's like falling off the radar that you still, this stuff still exists. And a lot of them are actually becoming antibiotic resistant too.
Ew.
Yep.
That's not good.
Seriously, put on a condom. And if you want the condom to feel a little bit slipperier, you can put just a little dab of lube on the inside of it. We talked about that. I think how to make a condom more comfortable a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Last month, something like that.
We did.
Yeah. Yeah. Google it. It'd be fine. Yeah, I'm sure the article's on the Great Northern Sex page. But, there's the internet out there. You do anyone that tries to tell you that they can't have sex while wearing a condom, that's not a person you want to have sex with.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So Nikki Glazer, and I think Nikki Glazer, she's a comedian. I think she's the one that published her own boob picture when people were trying to blackmail her.
Oh, she's like, yeah, here you go.
Oh, yeah, so here's my boob.
Yeah.
She's got a new Netflix special out called Bangin'. And she said it's raunchy sexual humor with underlying messages about feminism and gender. But here's a really interesting thing. She said she wanted to challenge people's thinking. And so she couched it with a lot of sex jokes. She said, she doesn't want to, mention the words that can turn people off, when guys start rolling their eyes. So she did it a little different, said she worked really, really hard on it. So I'm going to watch this because she's trying to tackle it in a way that's more appealing.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see whether or not she can pull it off, because the amazing double standards for women in almost any profession.
Yeah.
You have to be better. You have to be smarter. You have to all these things just to be considered remotely equal or competent. And then the double standards were like, okay, she's using sex, so she's, all it is about sex, or she's not sexy enough. I mean, there's no middle ground. Mm-hmm. So whether or not she managed to find the sweet spot on women talking about sex and not having it thrown back at them as being too crude or not, or why not? It's so bizarre.
I'll watch it. I'll let you know. And if it's
watching, because I was watching another female comedian, because I'm looking, because it's hard to actually find women comedians. I'm searching through Prime and Hulu and Netflix. So like, it's I'm curious. Let's go through. Let's poke around and see what's going on and see what I can find. And I'm watching this one gal, and I'm like, okay, I don't find her funny, and it's because I'm like, okay. It's not because she's female. To me, she's just not funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. So like, I really want sometimes to, enjoy this or something that's done and help a woman make money in a profession that they generally don't, so that somebody else that wants to do it can make money. But it wasn't funny for me.
Oh my gosh.
What did I watch? Although then again, I also don't find Jim Gaffigan funny, and everybody does. Mm-hmm. I was watching. I said, nope, doesn't work for me. And he's been like filling arenas for like years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
That I've had that though experience.
Yeah.
With and you know what? Funny is funny.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, and I mean, if you can make me laugh, I'm thrilled.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons is that I could see where the joke was going, but that's just maybe our brains are too much alike.
That could be.
Yeah, I can say and I can and that there's I know there's a term for it, but there's someone will take a joke and there's a punchline, right? And maybe the punchline is the word coffee, and then like 15 minutes into another set of jokes, they wrap it around to that previous punchline.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, he's going to go back to that. And I was right every damn time.
It's funny.
I'm like, oh, shit. I think I know why. Now that I'm just blathering, I'm like, that's probably why. I'm like,
Yep.
And like after the third time I saw that, I'm like, I'm done. If I'm not going to be surprised, or if I'm not going to look at something from a different point of view, what is the point?
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I totally get that. But I will watch the special and I'll provide a review.
Yeah, because it's Netflix, right? I got that.
Yeah, banging.
You're banging. Yeah, I'll have to look at that because I would like to I would like to see if someone's looking at something at an angle that I have not.
It sounds like she might be, and we'll post the article about it because she. Actually, I've always been fascinated at how comedians write, how they do it, and she talks a lot about how she came up with it. So
I love the process.
Yeah,
I do that. There were some films I don't care about the process. Some I will actually watch, like extras and stuff like that, because I want to know. I mean, if someone took 15 years to get a movie made, I'm sort of curious about why they felt that they had to keep pursuing a particular project. Mm-hmm. I don't care whether it's a movie or a book or just art in general. Someone was poking around with an idea. Mm-hmm. I sort of like to know how they. Sometimes I just like to be surprised, but other times I like to know how they tick. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why and one reason why the other, but I just find that fascinating.
Well, let's check it out, and we'll let the audience know. Anything else that we missed today?
No, I think we're fine. We just hopefully when I next week or something when I'm don't have everything breaking on me, I can maybe do a few more videos. And show some of the stuff that came in.
Next time.
I did one. Yeah, I did one a couple weeks ago about 2 new California exotic vibes that was sort of fun, and I should probably get a picture.
That's one.
And last week I forgot to put up something about this little cock ring lasso thing, so I should probably do that. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Is we got some new stuff in, and we talk about it here sometimes, but it'd be nice to show some pictures.
Oh, for sure. But my preference would be that you do it while we're recording, because last time you tried to speak into the dildo.
I did try to speak into the dildo. Yeah,
and that never gets old.
No, it won't. That's just not at all.